The wind howls across the Scottish Highlands, carrying the echoes of love, loss, and time itself. Somewhere beyond the mist, the stones of Cray na Dun hum with a strange, living power. The same power that once tore Claire Fraser away from her world and threw her into another century. But this time, it's calling someone new. His name is Henry Fraser, a young man who has never known peace. Haunted by stories of a woman who vanished without a trace, a woman who shared his blood. For years, Henry believed it was just a legend. But when he finds an old journal hidden in his grandmother's trunk, written in Claire's own hand, everything changes. Her words speak of love that defied time, of war, and of a man named Jamie, who lived centuries before her. But most haunting of all are her final lines. If someone finds this, know that time is not a wall, but a door. And now, that door is opening again. As lightning cracks across the dark sky, Henry stands at the edge of the ancient stones. The air hums. The ground trembles. The same pull that once claimed Claire begins to reach for him. What if destiny runs through the bloodline? What if the past has been waiting not for her return, but for his arrival? This season, time folds once more. And what he finds on the other side will change everything we thought we knew about. Outlander. This corresponds to the introduction section of your outline. Atmospheric. The cinematic setup that immerses viewers immediately. The trailer opens with the sound of wind and the soft echo of footsteps through damp grass. A lonely path winds through the misty hills of the Highlands. In the distance, a figure appears, Henry, wearing a long coat, holding a letter that looks older than the land itself. His breath fogs the air as thunder rolls above voiceover. Time has a way of finding those who carry its mark. The screen flashes with images of Claire Fraser healing wounded soldiers. Standing before the burning ruins of Lollybrock, whispering Jamie's name as tears stream down her face. Her image fades into Henry's, his eyes reflecting the same sadness she once carried. Voice dash over, years after her disappearance. One man begins to uncover the truth buried beneath centuries of silence. Henry's hands tremble as he opens the letter. Inside are coordinates, old ink, and one familiar signature, Claire Beauchamp, Randall Fraser. He looks up, confused but drawn, as if something unseen is calling him. Cut to a shot of an ancient library, pages flipping on their own. Candlelight flickering across words like Cray na Dun and the Standing Stones. Voiceover, she wrote of a love that defied time itself. And a circle of stones that could shatter the line between past and present. The music deepens, slow drums, a haunting violin. Henry walks toward the stones, lightning flashing in the distance. The camera pans close to his hand as he reaches out. The wind rises, pulling leaves and dust into a whirlwind. His fingers touch the stone, and for a brief second, he hears her voice. Claire's voice. Soft, echoing through time, Henry. Don't be afraid. The world bursts into white light voiceover when time remembers your name. There's no turning back as the light fades. We glimpse Claire alive, standing in the 18th century once again. Her face filled with shock and hope as she turns toward the sound of the stones roaring behind her. Text on screen. Outlander Season 8, the final journey begins. The screen fades from white to a stormy sky. Rain falls over the Scottish moors, heavy and cold, as a lone figure stands before the ancient stones. His coat clings to his shoulders. His heartbeat echoes in the silence, slow, steady, and unsure. Voiceover, they say time is like a river. It flows in one direction, until something or someone dares to swim against it. The camera circles around Henry. His face is pale, his eyes fixed on the stones glowing faintly under the rain. He whispers the name written on the letter, Claire Fraser. The wind answers back, soft and almost human, repeating the name like a memory carried through centuries. Suddenly, flashes quick, sharp, and haunting. Claire's laughter in the sunlight. Jamie's hand holding hers, the battlefield burning red. A child's cry. The letter in Henry's hand catching fire and turning to ash before his eyes. Voiceover. She was lost to time. But time never forgot her. A deep hum rises, the sound of the stones awakening. Henry steps closer, water dripping from his hair. His reflection flickers in the wet grass, then shifts for a heartbeat. It's not him standing there. It's Jamie, his ancestor. The same eyes, the same strength, staring back through the veil of centuries. Lightning strikes. The ground shakes. The air bends, like time itself is twisting open. Voiceover, he searched for answers. But what he found was destiny. Henry's hand brushes the stone again. This time, he doesn't pull away. A blinding blue light bursts from the circle, sweeping across the moor like a storm. His coat lifts in the wind. His eyes widen, terrified yet calm, as if he knows this moment has been waiting for him his entire life. Cut to silence. Total stillness. Then, the faint sound of waves. Henry opens his eyes. The rain is gone. The air is warmer. He looks around, confused. He's standing in a field, but it's different. Wild, untouched, filled with voices shouting in the distance. Horse hooves thunder past. Muskets fire. Smoke fills the air. He's no longer in his time. Voiceover. When you chase the past, sometimes it catches you first. Henry turns, eyes wide, as figures in old Scottish dress rush past him. Men in battle. Women hiding their children. He stumbles backward, heart racing, clutching the small leather bag he carried through the stones. And then, he hears it. A voice, faint but familiar. A woman calling out in fear, "Jamie."
The supplies?
He turns toward the sound. Through the chaos, through the smoke, stands Claire Fraser, exactly as she was alive, strong. And real, their eyes meet. She freezes, her face pale. She whispers, "Henry." The music rises like thunder, and the screen cuts to black dot text on screen. Outlander Season 8 time brings. Birds in the distance, and the rustle of wind through tall grass. Henry wakes up on the ground, his clothes covered in mud, his hands trembling. The world around him feels too real, too alive, the colors deeper, the air heavier. Voiceover. When you wake up in another time, even your heartbeat feels strange. He stands slowly looking at the sky. No planes, no sound of cars, only the whistle of the wind and the distant shouts of men on horseback. Confusion flashes across his face, fear, disbelief, and wonder all at once. He takes a step forward, and the ground seems to breathe beneath his feet. A woman runs past him, carrying a basket of herbs. Her dress is torn, her face dirty, her accent thick with an old Highland lilt. She doesn't even glance at his modern clothes as if he belongs here, as if time has erased the difference. Henry stumbles through the village, eyes scanning every detail, the smell of smoke, the clang of metal, the laughter of children playing near a well. Everything he's read in history books is alive here. Real, touchable then. His eyes fall on something that makes him stop cold. A familiar symbol carved into a wooden post, a tiny thistle surrounded by a ring of circles. He remembers it from Claire's journal. Her notes beside it said, "The Mark of Lelybrock." Voiceover. The stories were true. Every name, every place, every moment she lived, it all existed. Henry reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out Claire's journal. The pages flutter in the wind, landing open on a passage written in her hand. "If anyone should follow me, may the stones lead you home." His eyes burn with tears. He whispers, "I'm here, Claire. I found you." The music rises, soft strings, a haunting flute. The camera pans up to the hills beyond the village. Smoke curls in the distance, and through the haze, we glimpse the shape of Lelybrock, still standing, still alive, untouched by the centuries that separated them. Henry begins his journey toward it, unaware that every step he takes pulls him deeper into the same war that once tested Claire and Jamie's love. As he walks, the wind carries faint whispers, echoes from another time. Jamie's voice, Claire's laughter. The sound of battle, voiceover, history remembers names, but destiny remembers souls. Henry pauses on a ridge overlooking the valley. The sun breaks through the clouds, painting the land in gold. His hand tightens around the journal. For the first time, the fear fades from his eyes, replaced by purpose. He came here searching for answers. But what he's about to find is family text on screen. Outlander Season 8. The past has been waiting. The scene opens in silence, only the slow drip of rain from the leaves above. The camera moves through the trees, following Henry's footsteps as he pushes deeper into the woods. He's holding Claire's journal tightly against his chest, its pages flapping in the wind like wings. His breathing is heavy, his eyes scanning every sound, every movement voiceover. When the past finally sees you, it feels like the earth itself stops to listen. Henry freezes. His eyes widen. There among the chaos is a woman with golden hair pinned back beneath a linen scarf. Her hands are stained with blood, but her voice is calm, steady, filled with command and compassion. It's her. It's Claire Fraser. The camera closes in on her face, older now, but radiant with strength. She moves with the same grace Henry had seen in the photos, the same fire described in her letters. He watches her, speechless, his world spinning. Voiceover. She was never just a story. She was a heartbeat lost between centuries. A sudden cry breaks the moment, a soldier convulsing in pain. Claire kneels, focused, whispering words of comfort. Henry moves closer, not thinking, not breathing, drawn like a moth to a flame. A nurse turns and shouts, "Hey! You can't be here." The camera jerks as Henry stumbles forward, nearly falling. Claire turns, her eyes lock onto his. For a moment, everything stops. The shouts fade. The wind stills. Only the sound of their breathing remains. Henry's voice shakes. "Claire." Her face changes disbelief, shock, fear, and something deeper, something she can't name. She takes a step closer. "How do you know my name?" Henry pulls the journal from his coat and holds it out with trembling hands. "You wrote this." She looks down, confused, then touches the cover. Her eyes fill with tears. She whispers, This was lost years ago." The wind picks up again, swirling around them. The camp seems to fade, the colors bending and flickering as if time itself is watching. Claire stares at him, his face, his eyes. There's something familiar, something she's seen before. "Who are you?" she asks softly. Henry swallows hard. "My name is Henry Fraser. I'm your great-grandson." And the camera zooms in on Claire's eyes, wide with shock, shimmering with disbelief. The sound of the world breaks open, a roar of wind, thunder, and light as the music swells into a haunting crescendo. Voiceover. When time meets its own reflection, history begins again. Light around them explodes, blinding white. For a heartbeat, both are surrounded by the glowing stones, past and present merging. Claire reaches out her hand. Henry takes it, and then silence. Text on screen. Outlander, Season 8, The Lost Bloodline is found. The light fades, leaving only the sound of rain and a heartbeat echoing in the distance. Claire stands frozen, her eyes locked on Henry, as if the earth beneath her has shifted. The camp around them flickers back into focus, soldiers groaning. Nurses shouting, but nothing feels real anymore. Voiceover. Sometimes, the greatest miracle feels like a curse. Henry is still catching his breath, staring at her like a man who's seen a ghost. Claire moves closer, slowly, as if afraid he might disappear. Her voice trembles. "You said, Fraser." Henry nods. "I'm your great-grandson." You're real." "I didn't think this would actually." Before he can finish, a loud crash shakes the air. Muskets fire in the distance. The enemy is closing in. Soldiers yell orders. Claire's instincts take over. She grabs Henry's arm and pulls him behind a wagon. "Stay low," she shouts, her voice strong again. "You'll get yourself killed." Henry ducks as bullets rip through the air. He's terrified, confused, and overwhelmed. The smell of gunpowder burns his throat. He looks at Claire, this woman who raised generations through her story, now standing in front of him, fearless and fierce. Voiceover. She had fought battles long before he was born, and now their fates were tangled in the same war. As the smoke clears, Claire turns to him, Her face is pale but determined. You shouldn't be here. This time, it's dangerous. Henry laughs bitterly, his voice breaking. I didn't come here to survive. I came to find you. Her eyes soften for a second, but the weight of what he said lands heavy. She knows what it means. Time has opened its door again, and doors like that never stay open without cost. The soldiers regroup. Claire's friend, a nurse named Morag, runs up, shouting, Claire, he's not one of ours? Look at his clothes. Claire glances at Henry, his jacket, his watch, his shoes. The realization hits her. If anyone else sees, they'll think he's a spy. Voiceover. In a world where loyalty is survival, truth becomes a weapon, Claire whispers fiercely. You mustn't let anyone know who you are. They'll hang you before dawn. Henry looks down, shaken. Then what do I do? Stay close to me, she says, gripping his hand. You're my patient now. No one needs to know more. The two move through the smoke, hiding behind carts and tents. The chaos around them feels like the world tearing itself apart. Yet in that storm, there's something unspoken between them. Recognition, connection, family, as night falls. Claire lights a lantern in her tent. The flame flickers over their faces. Henry watches her hands move with precision, wrapping bandages, pouring medicine. She glances at him not as a stranger now, but as someone who carries her blood voice dash over. Sometimes love isn't born in a moment. It's inherited through time. Claire finally speaks, her voice barely a whisper. If you're really my great-grandson, then time hasn't just bent, it's broken. Henry meets her eyes. Then maybe it's time to fix it. The lantern burns brighter, reflecting in both their eyes. Two generations, separated by centuries, now united in one impossible fate. Text on screen. Outlander Season 8. Blood remembers what time forgets. The night burns red with fire. Smoke curls above the hills, like the breath of some ancient beast. Horses scream. Men shout in the dark. And in the middle of it all, Claire and Henry run through the chaos. Their faces lit by flashes of lightning and war. Voiceover. When time demands a price, someone must pay it. Claire's hand grips Henry's tightly as they duck behind the ruins of a stone wall. Bullets strike the dirt around them. Henry's voice shakes. We have to go back. The stones, they can take us home. Claire turns sharply, her eyes fierce beneath the firelight. And leave them? Leave everything? Her words cut through the noise like thunder. For a moment, the war around them fades. And all that remains is the sound of their breathing, two souls caught between centuries. Henry's face hardens. If we stay, we die here. Claire whispers back, if we leave, we destroy what's meant to be. The air trembles. The ground shakes not from cannon fire, but from something deeper. The hum of the stones. The pull of time itself, answering Henry's voice across the ages. Voiceover. Every choice bends the future. Every heartbeat echoes through history. Claire looks toward the horizon. Through the smoke, the standing stones glow faintly, calling a pulse of blue light in the distance. The same power that once took her. Now calling both of them home, but then a cry. A soldier falls near them. Blood, dust, chaos. Claire rushes forward instinctively, trying to save him. Henry grabs her arm, desperate. We don't have time. She snaps. There's always time to save a life. The music swells, drums pounding, strings sharp. Claire kneels, pressing her hands to the wound. But Henry sees what she doesn't. Redcoats approaching from behind the ridge. Claire, we have to move, he yells. She looks up, tears cutting through the dirt on her face. Her voice is soft, breaking. Go, Henry. The stones are waiting. Don't let time take you too. But he shakes his head. I came for you. I'm not leaving without you. The redcoats fire. The world explodes in sound and light. Henry shields Claire with his body. The impact throws them both to the ground. Silence follows. Voice dash over, soft, haunting, when love crosses centuries. It rewrites destiny. Claire opens her eyes. The rain has stopped. The sky glows faintly blue. She turns, and sees Henry alive, barely his hand reaching toward the light in the distance. The stones are awake, their hum growing louder, stronger, urgent. Claire whispers, "Jamie once told me, the heart always finds its way home." She lifts Henry's hand into hers and begins to walk, both of them limping. Battered but moving toward, the stones glowing like stars fall into earth. The light grows blinding. Their figures dissolve into it, fading as time folds again. History erasing itself, only to begin anew. Cut to black. Voiceover final line. When time remembers love, even eternity must listen. The Outlander theme rises, soft, nostalgic, almost sacred text on screen. Outlander Season 8, the end of time, the beginning of forever. The light fades. The storm is gone. The sound of battle disappears into the distance, leaving only a soft wind and the echo of waves. A calm sunrise paints the Scottish hills in gold. The land looks untouched, ancient, and eternal. The stones of Craynadun stand quiet once more, their glow fading into morning. Voiceover, gentle, reflective. Time is not a circle. It's a heartbeat. It stops, it starts, and sometimes it remembers. The camera glides through the mist, tracing the place where the light vanished. The air still hums faintly, as if something sacred just passed through. A single feather drifts to the ground, delicate, glowing faintly blue before it fades away. Then a sound. A breath. Henry opens his eyes, lying at the base of the stones. The modern world surrounds him again, the sound of distant cars, birds calling in the trees. His clothes are torn, his face streaked with dirt, but in his hand, he still holds the journal. He sits up slowly, dazed. The pages are different now. New handwriting fills the last page, Claire's, written as if she knew he would return. Her final words read, "You found me, Henry, but perhaps it was I who found you." Tears well in his eyes. The wind rises gently, carrying her voice one last time, faint, almost tender. "You're home now." Voiceover.